Welcome back to my Chanel Netrush report. Please subscribe us good evening. And welcome to Sports Spotlight. Wimbledon's glitz and glamour recently had us all glued to our screens, dreaming of wielding a racket on center court. But tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on a different side of professional tennis, one far from the spotlight. For players ranked outside the top 100, life on the pro circuit is less about champagne and trophies and more about grit, grind, and survival. Let's dive into the tough reality of the Challenger and Futures Tours, where dreams clash with relentless challenges. Stay with us for a 15-minute deep dive into the world of tennis's unsung warriors. Anchor. Let's start with the cold, hard truth. Money. Tennis is a sport where the elite swim in prize money, but for players outside the top 100, it's a financial tightrope. A study from the International Journal of Sport Policy and Politics reveals that the top 1% of men's players pocket 60% of the prize money, while women's top earners take home 51%. That leaves the rest, thousands of players, scrambling for scraps. Voiceover, over visuals of players on smaller courts, counting cash, or checking budgets take a win in an ITF Futures semifinal. Sounds impressive, right? Former player Connor Land told The Guardian it might net you just $480 after taxes. That's barely enough to cover a flight to the next tournament. Many players moonlight as coaches, string rackets, or even take odd jobs to keep their dreams alive. It's like trying to climb Mount Everest with nothing but a piggy bank. Anchor. These players aren't just battling opponents. They're fighting a system where the financial odds are stacked against them. Up next, the grueling travel that defines their lives. Anchor. Imagine hopping time zones every week, lugging your gear through airports, and crashing in budget hotels for 11 months a year. That's the reality for players on the Challenger and Futures circuits. Voiceover, over footage of airports, cramped hotel rooms, and players on long bus rides. Connor Land described it as relentless. Picture booking a last-minute flight in a hotel lobby after a crushing loss, or taking a 7-hour taxi ride in Uzbekistan to save a few bucks. Jet lag, unfamiliar food, and ever-changing court surfaces. It's an assault on the body and mind. These players are running a marathon while juggling, and the finish line feels like it's always moving. Anchor. It's not just physical exhaustion. The mental toll of this lifestyle is immense. After the break, we'll explore the loneliness that haunts these players on the road. Anchor. Welcome back. Tennis is a solitary sport, but for players outside the top 100, that loneliness is next level. With over 2,000 players battling it out on the Futures circuit, locker rooms are filled with strangers, and the vibe? Not exactly friendly. Voiceover, over visuals of empty locker rooms, players sitting alone, or scrolling phones. Players avoid bonding because everyone's competing for the same limited spots. You're far from home, missing birthdays, weddings, and time with friends. Vague match schedules, like sixth match after 10 a.m. or not before 3 p.m., leave players stuck in limbo, alone with their thoughts. It's a mental marathon where isolation is the toughest opponent. Anchor, and the pressure doesn't stop there. Coming up, we'll look at the mental health challenges these players face and the resilience that keeps them going. Anchor, for players outside the top 100, every match feels like a make-or-break moment. The pressure to succeed is relentless, carrying the weight of family expectations, coaches, and personal dreams. Voiceover, over footage of intense matches, players icing injuries, or talking to coaches. A Taylor and Francis study found that 15% of players report mental health struggles. Think anxiety, depression, or even eating disorders. With no steady paycheck, many play through injuries to maintain their rankings, which are based on a brutal 52-week rolling system. Every loss feels like a punch to the gut, and the fear of failure is a constant shadow. Anchor. Yet, these players keep going, fueled by passion and the faint hope of breaking through. Some scrape together sponsorships, others lean on online communities for support. The ADP and WTA are stepping up with mental health resources, but for the lower ranks, it's still an uphill battle. Anchor. So, why do they do it? Despite the tight budgets, endless travel, loneliness, and mental strain, these players lace up their shoes, hit the court, and keep dreaming big. Voiceover, over uplifting footage of players training, celebrating small wins, or hugging coaches. For many, it's about the journey, the grind, the heart, and the stubborn belief that they can crack the top 100. They're not just battling opponents. They're fighting a system that favors the elite, a lifestyle that isolates, and a mind that sometimes doubts. Yet, every rally tells a story of resilience and hope. Anchor. Life outside the top 100 is a test of endurance and sheer determination. These players remind us that tennis isn't just about grand slams or flashy forehands. It's about the human stories behind every swing. That's all for tonight's Sports Spotlight. Join us tomorrow as we preview the next big tournament. Good night. Outro, over closing credits Sports Spotlight, is brought to you by Sponsor Name.